Good morning and welcome to the Toddcast, everybody. Today we are headed back to see one of our favorite customers. I have done several jobs for this customer. We worked on a pond, a retaining wall. This time, we also installed two 4-foot culvert pipes. This time we're headed back up to work on a little bit more of her creek banks that washed out during, I think it was Hurricane Fred. And I mean, it's a frosty morning. It's low 30s. Actually, I think it's right around freezing, so it's really nice. The Big Mac here that we're driving is going to have to warm up a little, so gotta work on her creek banks, and we've got several trees to take down, and we're also going to push back some brush on one side of her yard. Today's project, we are going to be cleaning the creek up and hopefully getting it graded all today. So let's get up there and see what we can do. I'd say this is the first, besides the rattling door, this is the first real cool morning that I started this truck, and I was wondering how well it would start, and it started really well. Thank goodness, because I need it today. Let's see if I can't ease down in here without getting stuck. Might get stuck. Might not. We'll see. Well, you can see where I've tracked, but it ain't too soft. I think one of my first goals will be to get that walnut down. It's a beautiful log I think it's going to come out of that maybe somebody can make good use of. Let's get that excavator warming up, and then we'll chop that sucker down. Plenty of oil. Go up here and get this thing greased up. That tree's got a hard lane, so it's going to try to split out. Y'all stay back. That is called a barber chair. Well, that's some pretty wood right there. Luckily it split right up the middle. And the reason that I said it was going to barber chair, you guys can't really see it, but this tree had a lot of lean on it. And what that does is it pulls pressure on that tree. So when you make a face cut and you just start cutting into the back, as it weakens those fibers, less and less fibers are there to hold that tree together, and it'll split out like that. When I first walked up to this tree, I thought, you know, I might ought to do a plunge cut first and then drop it, but I thought, you know what, this will make a good video. Now, where this really becomes dangerous is if this tree was really tall and leaning, because what'll happen, and this has happened, I've seen it in person, is it'll start splitting out, but the tree will fall really slow. You can hear it still cracking. It'll start falling really slow, and instead of it just barber chairing like that and leaning over, what'll happen is that'll start splitting out, and then this part of the tree, sorry about the sun guys, let's see if I can do it. There we go. This part of the tree will actually shoot right backwards, and that's what'll kill people. This is a dangerous situation, no doubt about it. And boy, did it split out. If it had a full canopy of leaves, it would have went even faster. So luckily I was ready. As soon as it popped, I turned tail and got out of there. And this is why it's important to have a clean escape route. This was not necessarily a how-to. I expected it to barber chair a little bit, but boy, it took off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just grab that tree and push it over, cut it loose, and I'll still be able to take those pieces there to my log buyer. He'll be able to make some pretty stuff out of that. Let's hop to it. Actually, before we get to that, let me tell you about why I should have, and it would have worked a lot better to do a plunge cut. What I would do, and I'm not going to walk right up on this thing, is, and I actually have a video, I'll try to find it and post it in the notes right here, but you make a plunge cut right into the center of that tree, and this is how I do it. Everybody does things different. I'll plunge cut right into the middle, and then I'll pull the saw straight back out, and I'll just usually cut maybe a fifth to a quarter of the center of the tree out. Then I'll make a shallow face cut, and then you've got that trigger at the back that you can cut through, and you can cut it fast with a good sharp saw, and then it'll just cut that trigger loose, and the whole tree will just lay right over. I will do my best to remember to post that video on how to do a plunge cut and avoid a barber chair situation. I feel like cutting these trees is there's a lot of older guys doing it, but you start getting slow, you need to be ready to retire. When I get to where I can't move fast, you better believe I won't be cutting these things anymore. Well, that's a little disappointing. Blue in it. Must have been a fence running through here, and that metal stained my wood. He may still want something with that middle part. We got our walnut cleaned up. Let's go on over here to the creek and start diverting it back to its original flow path so that edge of the creek can be drying out before we start sloping it. That tree with the little ribbon on it, they don't want me to hurt if I can help it. So I'm just pull this cluster of junk out nice and easy. That Hurricane Fred really did a number around here. Pull all this junk out. So you can see right here along this creek, maybe, bank through here, we've already sloped it and it held up nicely. Now this down through here, not so much. Customer wants to keep this rock, rightfully so. It's a good looking rock. Make a good piece for somewhere. Now, just gonna pull some of this junk loose. That Carolina Cat, all the minis that they order and get in have the long reach. Now, let's see if we can get this creek moving over a little bit. Better, I think. Now this right here, I can find me a good way down in here, is what we're continuing with. There's old T-post. It's amazing the stuff you find in these creeks. So I've gotten it pretty well draining away from the bank now. we're allowed to do what we're doing for erosion repair. We're going up to that white rock right there. Now see, all that rock's going to drain off nice and dry. And I'll be able to slope every bit of this, make it look good. That'll make a good base right there. We'll get it smoothed out. We'll shave that dirt down on it, get some grass growing, and it'll make a fine creek bank. I can't help but wonder if I can transplant this grass over to here to help against erosion. Well, while we're at it, we're going to go ahead, set down on those trees that had all this ivy on it. We're going to clean that up. Left the stumps in. I didn't want to disturb the creek bank too much. We'll get this mess cleaned up while we're at it. Keep getting the little willow here. Fair sized little scrub tree. See if we can mash it down. Break. See that piece fitting the truck. That I need to cut some more. Let's do this. It's light enough to pick up now. Come on, you heavy son of a gun. Now I can work on him. Let's see where this gets us. Pile of junk's what it gets us, looks like. Fast the thumb is on this machine. Compared to the Yanmar is a pretty solid machine, and it was a great starter machine. These two are worlds apart. Strength, speed, everything. Everything is way different. items to come out. So I guess I better fish that other one over first. I got a rotten bottom. We need to be able to straighten this corner a little bit. It's one good thing about having a strong machine. Just push stuff over a little bit easier. Don't you come this way. Don't you do it. Now let's get this old stump out. That is very old stump. It's all cleaned up pretty good up through there where we are going to be shaving that creek bank back. It's getting toward the end of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and load one load out and that'll finish this day. One load got that pile, actually a couple. A lot of that cleaned up. We just got a couple of piles over there, that pile, and that stuff. Do it tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, guys. We'll call that for this section of this job, and we will see y'all back here tomorrow. Be sure to help a hillbilly out with a like, comment, and a subscribe. We love you. See you tomorrow.